What's up, people of YouTube? This is Troll here, bringing you guys another video to my channel today. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a video talking about my top 10 superheroes ever, essentially. So, I mean, I'm going to do multiple lists based off of the whole superhero idea. Now, keep in mind that some of these might not be superheroes to you. You might not consider them superheroes, or some of them you might not like at all. Remember, these are my opinion. These are what I think of the superheroes. This is where I would rank them from 1 to 10. So just keep that in mind as you're hearing these, because I know there's a lot of superhero fanatics out there, and I don't want to really upset anybody, but this is all opinionated. None of this is fact. None of this is set in stone. Also, this is not just Marvel or just DC. This is a mixture of both. Now, in other videos, if you guys are interested, I can do a top 10 Marvel superheroes and a top 10 DC superheroes. I also am probably going to do a top 10 super villains video. That might be next week. If you guys are interested in any of that stuff, leave it down in the comment section, but let's start this off. So at number 10, which might be kind of surprising for you guys because a lot of people don't really care for this person or consider them a superhero, I have Black Widow. So I had never heard of Black Widow until I actually saw the Avengers, and I really, really liked her character, and I liked her, like, the assassin-y, I guess. I don't really know how to word it, how she's like an assassin. I liked that about her character, and that's why I really like Black Widow. I don't really like the other dude with the bow and arrow. I don't even know who that is. But I'm not the biggest fan of him. But Black Widow is pretty cool, and of course she's hot and stuff. So I just made that really, really awkward, but she's physically appealing, so I felt like she needed to be on this list. At number 9, I have Daredevil, another one that might be confusing for you guys, but I watched the Daredevil movie when I was younger, and a lot of people don't like it, and I haven't seen it since I was younger, but I really liked the Daredevil movie, or at least I thought it was okay. It wasn't, you know, as cool to me as some of the other superhero movies at the time, but I liked it. And then they also have a Daredevil series on Netflix that's really good as well. I've seen some of those episodes, and that's a really, really good series to get into. So overall, I like the Daredevil character, and I felt like he deserved to be on this list as well. At number 8, we have Wolverine. So out of the entire X-Men series, all the X-Men movies and all of that stuff, I was never, ever, ever, ever able to get into X-Men. I don't know why. I've had friends that liked X-Men. I've had people in my family that have liked the X-Men, and I just couldn't do it. But I really did like Wolverine when I was younger, and he used to be in like some of the cartoons. He was one of my favorite people to watch. I also liked the one with the red lasers. I don't even know his name anymore. If I saw him, I'd probably be able to say his name, but I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men, but Wolverine is really, really cool, and how his bones are made out of that one stuff that makes him hard to kill. And God, I really should look some of this stuff up before I made the video. I know what I'm talking about, guys. I can't think of the words. So moving on here to number 7, we have Thor. I think Thor is a really cool superhero. I watched all of the Thor movies, and his whole, like, the whole universe that he comes from and what he's about is a really cool concept for me. I'm not really a big fan of the whole sci-fi fantasy thing, but Thor is just, I don't know, it just really interests me, and I found it really cool to watch, and I got into it. So Thor is one of my favorite superheroes as well. Moving on to number 6 here, I have Captain America. Captain America, at first, I didn't care too much about, just because I don't know, like, I didn't like the first movie, but the second movie that came out about Captain America, not the Avengers, but Winter Soldier, I believe it was, I really liked that one. And I just, like, I feel like the actor who plays him in the movies is a really good guy for that role, and I feel like Captain America is who he should be based off of the movies. Now, I don't read a lot of comic books. I don't read any comic books, to be completely honest. I wished I did, but I just don't. And someday maybe I will, but all of my opinions are based off of what I've seen in movies and TV shows and you know, video games, essentially. So Captain America in the movies is really cool, and I feel like he's fitting, but at first I didn't really care for him too much, and over time it just kind of progressed, and now we are where we are. So he is at number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is actually surprisingly higher on my list than I thought he was going to be. We have Superman. And the only reason Superman is at number 5, because in my opinion, if it wasn't for the Man of Steel movie that came out, he probably wouldn't even have made the list, because I just have never been a fan of Superman. I don't know why. But the Man of Steel movie kind of brought that back, which put him at number 5 on my list personally. But I thought that movie was really, really good. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Batman versus Superman. I think it'll be good, obviously, because the last few Batman movies have been really good, and Man of Steel was really good. Some people thought that it was too Michael Bay-ish, you know, lots of explosions and buildings falling down and stuff, and a lot of that is true, but I still think it was a really, really good movie overall, so it kind of brought my interest back with Superman. Moving on to number 4, we have Iron Man. I like Iron Man mostly because of his personality. So if you look at this list, a lot of the people on this list all the way up to Iron Man kind of had similar personalities, or they were very quiet, or they weren't real charismatic, I guess is the way to put it. And I really, really like Iron Man because of that. Outside of that, there isn't nothing that really stands out too much. His suit is really, really cool, and I like that about him, but like he doesn't really have a superhero ability, which is fine and all. But I think that his charismatic attitude towards everything and how he's a smartass is just kind of what makes him who he is as a superhero. And if he didn't have that, he probably wouldn't have been on this list either. Moving on to number 3, we have Spider-Man. So to be completely honest, guys, what made me want to make this video was because I just recently watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, a lot of people don't like those movies for some strange reason. They don't care for The Amazing Spider-Man. They didn't like the first 3 Spider-Man. I didn't really like those 3 with Tobey Maguire, but I really, really enjoyed the newest Spider-Man movies, and I'm sad that they discontinued it. I thought that the actor that they had for Peter Parker was really, really good, and they were going someplace really cool with the new Spider-Man, and I don't know why they're ending it, but Spider-Man has always been one of my childhood favorite superheroes. I watched cartoons, I watched all the movies, I had action figures, I had games. He is just one of the coolest superheroes out there, in my opinion, because he can be a smartass from time to time. Like, I mean, he's not the biggest one, I guess. I don't know how to word that, but he's definitely not your typical superhero, and he's really young, which makes him relatable in a lot of ways to, like younger teenagers and stuff, which gives him a little bit more of a, a fresh concept compared to some of the superheroes who are in their 30s and stuff. So that's why Spider-Man's on this list. Moving on to number 2, we have Deadpool. Now, I feel like I just opened a can of worms by saying Deadpool as a superhero. I left him on this list because I don't know a lot about Deadpool. I looked it up online, as my friend suggested, and there were some mixed opinions about him being a superhero and not being a superhero. But I am leaving him on here because I don't really look at him as a super villain. And I haven't seen the movie. Obviously, it's not out yet. I haven't read the comics because, well, I don't have them. I will read them soon, using them for my friend. And I feel like the Deadpool movie is going to be really, really good. And I feel like he deserves to be put down as a superhero. And even though I don't know a lot about Deadpool, what I've seen from the trailer alone makes me feel like he should be at the number 2 spot on my list because of his attitude. Like I said before, attitude and charisma is a really, really, really big part of what I like in superheroes, or just any character in anything, whether it's a game or whatever. And so the charisma of the character is kind of what makes the superhero. Moving on to number 1, the last one on my list is Batman. Okay, so you guys knew that Batman had to be on this list. He is my all-time favorite superhero, by far. Movies were great, most of them. I mean, George Clooney sucks dick, but most of the movies were really, really good. Original Batman and all that stuff. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you. Please comment down below what you want to see in future top 10s. I'd really appreciate that. Please remember to like and subscribe. Twitter and Facebook links will be down in the description as always, and deuces.